Hi, this is Theo from ParkerBlocks.com. Today I want to show you this pen called the Tradio Stylo. It's made by Pentel. It's a sketching pen. It's quite a pricey pen, and to me it's not really worth the money, and in this video I will show you why. This is mainly a plastic pen, and that's the big cap. So inside there's the refilling system. It uses a felt tip. And this whole thing here is actually the cartridge. So this is the refill, and the body is just the back here. So you can buy refills for this pen. The refill costs quite a bit, about US $5 for each refill, so that's quite expensive. The nib is some sort of a wedge that is clipped between the plastic. It's a triangular piece of felt tip, so the tip is actually quite big. Let's take a look at the writing performance. This is the Tradio Stylo. It writes and feels like a felt tip because it is, and the writing is actually quite smooth. In some other places it's sold as under this name called Pullaman. So depending on the name, the price of the pen actually varies. But generally speaking, for the price of one pen like this, you can get several Sharpie markers. So and it's not really very special, although you can get some line variation, but it's really quite pricey, and the refill system is also quite pricey. For writing purposes, I think it's great, but for sketching purposes, well, when it comes to cross-hatching, I see that there's some problem with it. Did you notice the little splatters that come out of the lines? So there are these little tiny spots when I cross-hatch very quickly. So these tiny little spots, they really affect the drawing. So when I want just the line, I am not able to get it. There's always those effects. So if you want to avoid that, then you have to sketch really very slowly. Let's take a look at the line variations you can get. So this is a thin line. Let me apply a bit more pressure. And this is a slightly thicker line. Let me try and use the side of the wedge of the tip and let you see what we have. The side is not as smooth, but you can get just a tiny bit of variations, especially at the starting and at the end. So the start is a bit thicker. Here's a closer look at those tiny little dots. Let me compare this pen with the Sharpie markers. So this is drawn by our Tradio Stylo. And let me switch over to a Sharpie extra fine point. The extra fine point is a bit thicker, it's just slightly thicker. Let me see, yes, I have an ultra fine point as well. So this is the ultra fine point Sharpie. In terms of the feel on the paper and the texture, it's roughly similar. Main difference is the Tradio has a line that is more uniform. So for the Sharpie markers, you tend to get the blobs at the start and at the end of the lines. Also for the Tradio, you can get some line variations when you press a bit harder. But the variation is very subtle, and it's not a reason for you to get this pen. The ink, by the way, is not waterproof. So if you apply water over it, this is going to smudge. I mean, if you want the wash effect, then it could be quite interesting. But it's going to smudge, so I do not use it with watercolor. On the right side is the Sharpie. Sharpie is permanent markers, and so it stays there. Let's do a quick sketching example. This drawing from a photo reference. Okay, let's take a closer look and see if there are any splatter marks. The only area where I can detect splatter mark is here. Other than that, the pen performs very predictably. The lines are uniform. Actually, I cannot see much in terms of line variation and thickness. So if you want something thick, you have to go back and go over the lines again. Design of this pen is very nice, but when it comes to drawing, the lines are not very special. It's not too different from much cheaper pens. For one of this pen, it's quite pricey. You can get a few Sharpie markers, and even the refill system costs a few Sharpie markers, so I'm not sure if it's worth it, especially when the lines are not special. I mean, for the Sharpie markers, they tend to blot at the start and the end, but for the Tradio Stylo, it gives you a uniform line, but another downside is when you cross hatch very fast, there's a high tendency for it to splatter. And so that's it for my review today. I don't think this is a pen that's really worth the money. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section below. I will answer them. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do so for more art product reviews relating to sketching tips and techniques, art book and sketchbook features. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. See you next time.